Welcome everyone to the Expensive Coins History channel. This detailed and professional presentation about one of the most talked about coins in New Zealand's modern numismatic history, the 1989 no-mint mark New Zealand Queen Elizabeth II 5-cent coin. In this video, we are going to take a deep look into its creation, design, background, rarity, collector interest, and the current market value in 2025. This small yet fascinating coin has captured the attention of collectors and coin enthusiasts across the world, not only because of its historical importance but also because it represents the final era of New Zealand's low-denomination coinage before major monetary changes took place. The story of the New Zealand 5-cent coin begins in 1967, when the country transitioned to a decimal currency system. The 5-cent coin replaced the old sixpence coin and was designed to reflect both national identity and British heritage. On the obverse of the coin is a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, symbolizing New Zealand's connection to the Commonwealth. The 1989 issue features the third definitive portrait of Her Majesty, designed by Raphael Maklauf. The Queen is depicted wearing the royal diadem, facing right, surrounded by the legend, Elizabeth II New Zealand 1989. The reverse of the coin features one of New Zealand's most distinctive native creatures, the tuatara, a reptile found only in that region. Perched on a coastal rock, the tuatara design was created by New Zealand artist Reginald George James Barry and became an iconic symbol of the 5-cent denomination for nearly 4 decades. The coin itself is made from copper-nickel, a durable alloy composed of copper and nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance and resistance to corrosion. It weighs approximately 2.83 grams, has a diameter of 19.43 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. In 1989, these coins were produced without a mint mark, which was standard for circulation issues at the time. However, some proof and mint set versions were struck with slightly higher quality for collectors, showing sharper details and a more reflective surface. The total mintage for that year reached tens of millions, ensuring a wide supply for circulation across the country. Despite its high mintage, the 1989 5-cent coin has a certain appeal that goes beyond its face value. For many New Zealanders, it carries nostalgic value, as the denomination was withdrawn and demonetized in 2006. This means the 5-cent coin no longer holds legal tender status, but it remains a cherished part of the country's numismatic heritage. The 1989 issue, being part of the later years of production, marks the end of an era before these small coins disappeared from everyday use. When it comes to rarity, the 1989 no-mint mark 5-cent coin is generally considered a common issue. It does not have an official mint mark variation that would make it scarce in the same sense as error coins or limited commemoratives. However, rarity in coin collecting is not determined solely by mintage numbers. Condition, preservation, and demand play a huge role. Most of the coins found today in circulation or change jars are heavily worn, showing flattened details and dull surfaces from years of handling. Coins in such condition typically have minimal collector value, often selling for only a few cents above face value. On the other hand, examples that remain in uncirculated or mint state condition can attract far more interest. Collectors look for coins that have retained their original luster, exhibit sharp detail in the Queen's portrait and the tuatara design, and show no signs of wear, scratches, or corrosion. These coins, especially when preserved in protective holders or graded by professional coin grading services, can command higher prices in the market. Proof versions, which were struck using specially polished dies and planchets for collector sets, are even more valuable due to their limited mintage and mirror-like finish. Now let's discuss the current market value as of 2025. The 1989 5-cent coin, despite its modest metal content and common circulation status, has seen growing collector interest. Circulated examples generally sell for between 50 New Zealand cents and $1, depending on their condition. Coins in extremely fine or almost uncirculated condition may reach values between 1 and 2 New Zealand dollars. Genuine uncirculated examples with full mint luster, especially those taken from mint sets, can be valued anywhere from $3 to $5 or slightly higher. Proof coins and coins graded mint state 65 or above can fetch prices ranging from $5 to $10 or more, depending on the buyer and market demand. That it is important to note that coins advertised as being worth hundreds or thousands of dollars are often misrepresented. The regular 1989 5-cent coin is not an ultra-rare issue and does not contain precious metal. Its true value lies in its collectability, its symbolic representation of a bygone era in New Zealand's coinage, and its nostalgic charm for those who grew up using it in daily life. However, certain error coins, such as misstrikes, off-center strikes, or planchet errors, if discovered from this date, could command higher premiums from specialized collectors. For collectors interested in identifying high-value pieces, there are a few simple tips. Always inspect your coin under good lighting. Look for clarity in the Queen's hairlines, the sharpness of the Tuatara scales, and the crispness of the lettering. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning removes natural patina and dramatically reduces value. Store coins in acid-free holders or coin capsules to prevent oxidation and damage. If you believe your coin is of superior quality, consider having it graded by a professional grading company. Certification not only protects the coin but also verifies its condition and authenticity for future buyers. The overall collector market for New Zealand decimal coins remains steady, with gradual appreciation for well-preserved examples. While the 1989 5-cent coin may not make anyone rich overnight, it remains an important and charming part of New Zealand's monetary history. Many collectors enjoy assembling full-date runs of the 5-cent series, which includes issues from 1967 through 2006. The 1989 issue fits right into that timeline as one of the later circulating years, representing both the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II and the national pride symbolized by the Tuatara design. The 1989 no-mint mark New Zealand Queen Elizabeth II 5-cent coin is a coin that bridges history and nostalgia. Although it is not rare in the strict sense, it has a value that grows from its story, its design, and its place in the evolution of New Zealand's currency. In 2025, most circulated examples hold modest monetary value, while pristine uncirculated or proof versions are worth collecting and preserving for the future. For many collectors, it stands as a reminder of the country's changing economy and of a time when even a small 5-cent coin held genuine purchasing power. Whether you are a serious numismatist or a casual collector, owning one of these coins is like holding a small piece of New Zealand's history in your hands, a tangible connection to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II and to the everyday life of a nation that continues to cherish its heritage through the coins it once spent. The 2006 New Zealand 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, a coin that has generated interest among collectors around the world due to its transition year status, its unique minting history, and the curiosity surrounding the version without a mint mark. This coin may appear ordinary at first glance, but when we explore its origins, its background, and its market performance in 2025, we discover that it represents an important chapter in the history of modern New Zealand currency. To understand the significance of the 2006 10-cent coin, we must go back to the roots of New Zealand's decimal coinage system. Decimalisation took place in 1967, replacing the old pound system with the New Zealand dollar. The 10-cent coin was introduced at that time as the direct equivalent of the 1 shilling coin, maintaining similar size, weight, and value. For nearly 40 years, this coin circulated with very little change, being made from cupronickel, with a diameter of around 23.5 millimeters and a weight of about 5.5 grams. On the obverse was the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, while the reverse carried the striking design of a Maori carved mask, or karuru, with traditional Maori scroll pattern symbolizing New Zealand's cultural heritage. The design was created by Reginald George James Barry and became one of the most recognizable images on New Zealand coinage. By the mid-2000s, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand began to realize that the larger cupronickel coins were no longer practical. They were expensive to produce, heavy to carry, and often not cost-effective for daily transactions. As a result, in 2006, the government introduced a complete redesign and size reduction for its lower denomination coins, including the 10-cent piece. This year marked a complete shift from the large cupronickel coin to a smaller, lighter, copper-plated steel version. The size decreased to approximately 20 millimeters in diameter, and the weight dropped to around 3.3 grams. Though the material changed, the obverse and reverse designs remained the same, preserving continuity in appearance while modernizing the metal composition. This change makes the year 2006 particularly special. It became a transition year in which two distinct versions of the 10-cent coin exist. The first version, the smaller copper-plated steel coin, was released for general circulation and minted in very high numbers, roughly over 140 million pieces. The second version, the larger cupronickel type, was produced only for collector mint sets in very limited quantities, estimated at just a few thousand pieces. Because of this low mintage, the large-sized 2006 coin is now considered the rarest of its denomination for the modern period, especially when found in pristine, uncirculated condition. Many collectors refer to the 2006 no mint mark 10-cent coin, as most New Zealand coins traditionally carry no visible mint mark. This means that the absence of a mint mark does not indicate an error or variation, but rather the standard issue. However, misunderstandings online often lead to claims that the lack of a mint mark makes this coin exceptionally rare. The truth is that the no mint mark version is simply the regular coin produced for circulation, and while it is an important piece of history, it is not a high-value rarity by itself. The truly rare variety is the large-size version minted exclusively for sets. Even though the regular 2006 10-cent coin is common, collectors often seek high-grade examples that have never circulated, with shiny red bronze surfaces and perfect details. Coins in mint state condition, graded as MS65 or higher, can command small premiums above face value. On average, an uncirculated 2006 small-size 10-cent coin may be valued at under $1 in the collector market, while circulated examples hold only nominal or face value. The large-size 2006 coin, by contrast, is significantly more desirable. Because only a few thousand were struck and none were meant for circulation, a pristine specimen can sell for several dollars or more depending on the demand among New Zealand coin enthusiasts and the overall condition of the piece. Claims that this coin is worth a fortune usually come from misunderstandings, online exaggerations, or confusion with proof and set-only varieties. Still, there are factors that can increase the appeal of a coin. For example, transitional year issues are always of special interest to collectors because they represent the change between two different coinage standards. The 2006 issue perfectly fits that category as it marks the end of the traditional large-size 10-cent coin that had been in use since the 1960s and the beginning of the modern smaller version. Transitional years often become reference points in numismatic history, and collectors love owning examples from those years even when the coins themselves are not extremely rare. Another element of intrigue lies in minting errors or varieties that sometimes appear during transition periods. Off-metal strikes, double strikes, or misaligned dies can make a coin from an otherwise common year suddenly very valuable. Though no major confirmed error varieties are widely documented for the 2006 New Zealand 10-cent coin, it is still worth checking each piece carefully for signs of irregularities, as such coins can be worth significantly more than the regular issues. When evaluating the 2006 10-cent coin in today's market, it is crucial to consider grading, condition, and authenticity. Coins that have been cleaned, damaged, or show heavy wear lose much of their appeal to collectors. On the other hand, a coin kept untouched in a mint set, with original luster and no surface marks, can retain strong numismatic value. Collectors in 2025 continue to show steady interest in modern New Zealand coinage, particularly those connected with Queen Elizabeth II, whose passing in 2022 has made coins featuring her portrait historically significant as the end of an era in Commonwealth coinage. This sentiment has added mild upward pressure on the value of her final coin issues from countries like New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. As of 2025, the standard small 2006 New Zealand 10-cent coin generally trades between 10 and 50 New Zealand cents in circulated condition, and up to around $1 New Zealand dollar or slightly more in uncirculated or mint state condition. The large-size mint set-only version, depending on its grade, packaging, and provenance, can fetch several times that amount, with certain pristine examples selling for higher values among specialist collectors. It is always wise to check current auctions and coin dealer listings, as market interest fluctuates with trends and collector demand. The 2006 New Zealand 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a small but historically meaningful piece. It represents a major transformation in the nation's coinage system, symbolizing efficiency, modernization, and the continuity of design that connects decades of New Zealand history. The regular no-mint mark version is widely available, affordable, and easy to find, while the large-size mint set issue stands out as the true rarity from this transitional year. Whether you are a collector, investor, or someone who simply enjoys discovering hidden stories behind everyday objects, this coin reminds us that even the smallest pieces of change carry echoes of national identity and historical significance. As of 2025, its monetary worth may be modest, but its cultural and historical value remains undeniably rich. So next time you come across a 2006 10-cent coin, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small but remarkable piece of New Zealand's numismatic story. The 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, the one that comes with no mint mark. In this video, we will explore its full history, how it came to be, the reasons behind its design, its production details, rarity, collector demand, and of course, its real value in the current market in 2025. The 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin belongs to the decimal coinage system, which New Zealand introduced back in 1967. However, the coin as we know it today underwent a major change in 2006 when the entire series was redesigned and reduced in size. The new 20-cent coin that came after 2006 was made from nickel-plated steel instead of the earlier copper-nickel composition. The change made the coin lighter and smaller, measuring about 21.75 millimeters in diameter and weighing around 4 grams. This was part of an effort by the Reserve Bank of New Zealand to make coins more convenient to use and to cut minting costs. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing to the right. This was the fourth portrait of the Queen used on New Zealand coinage, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, and it carries a dignified and realistic representation of Her Majesty. The inscription around the portrait reads, Elizabeth II, and New Zealand, followed by the year of issue, in this case, 2008. The reverse side of the coin displays a striking design based on the Maori carving of Pukaki, a celebrated chief of the Ngati Wakao iwi. This artwork pays homage to New Zealand's cultural heritage and is one of the most distinctive features of this denomination. One interesting point about this coin is that it carries no mint mark. This is completely normal for New Zealand circulating coins of that period, as most were struck without any mint mark to identify the producing mint. While some collectors may believe that no mint mark indicates rarity or an error, in this case, it simply reflects standard production practice. The 2008 issue of this 20-cent coin was produced in large quantities, approximately 80 million pieces were minted, which makes it a relatively common date in terms of mintage numbers. Despite the large mintage, the 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin still holds interest among collectors. The reasons are subtle but meaningful. First, it is part of the modern, reduced-size series that began in 2006, so it represents an important chapter in New Zealand's coinage history. Secondly, because it circulated widely, finding examples in pristine, uncirculated condition is not always easy. Coins that have remained bright, untarnished, and free of scratches are considerably more desirable to collectors than well-worn pieces. Many 2008 coins in everyday use are heavily marked or show visible wear, which is why truly mint-state examples can command a small premium. The overall rarity of this coin in general circulation is low, but its rarity in high-grade condition is moderate. This distinction is crucial for valuation. In average circulated grades, the coin's value is generally close to face value, meaning it is worth around 20 cents NZD. However, in 2025, collectors and dealers have been offering uncirculated or mint-state examples for between $3 and $6, depending on the market and the grade certification. Coins that have been officially graded by services such as PCGS or NGC and achieve a grade of MS-65 or higher can sometimes fetch even higher prices in private sales or online auctions. For coins in fine or very fine condition, the value is typically under $1. In extremely fine to almost uncirculated condition, it may rise to around $1 to $2. Fully uncirculated examples with bright luster and no visible wear are usually valued between $3 and $5. Exceptional examples, especially those verified and encapsulated by a grading service, may go slightly beyond that. It is important to remember that these values fluctuate with collector interest, exchange rates, and the broader coin market, but as of 2025, these are realistic market figures. Another factor that often generates interest is the possibility of error coins. While some countries experienced famous errors, such as the British 20 pence, no date, mule, New Zealand's 2008 20-cent coin does not have any widely recognized major errors. If you come across a coin with an unusual strike, missing design details, double strike, or off-center pattern, it could be worth examining, but such examples are extremely rare and should be authenticated by a professional numismatist before being declared valuable. For most coins, the no mint mark characteristic is not an error at all, but standard issue. When it comes to long-term collectability, the 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin is part of a series that holds educational and historical appeal. It represents the modern era of New Zealand currency under Queen Elizabeth II, who appeared on the nation's coinage for over 6 decades. With the recent passing of the Queen and the upcoming transition to coins bearing King Charles III, interest in coins from the Queen Elizabeth II era has risen slightly. Collectors often seek to preserve examples from the final years of her reign, and the 2008 coin fits within that narrative. Although it is not among the rarest in terms of investment potential, this coin is not one that is likely to skyrocket in value in the short term. Its high mintage limits its scarcity. However, clean, well-preserved examples and proof-like specimens can maintain steady demand, especially as part of complete year sets. If you find one in your collection, it's worth holding on to, not necessarily for immediate profit, but as part of a historical sequence representing New Zealand's monetary evolution. To properly preserve your coin, store it in a protective sleeve or capsule to prevent scratches and oxidation. Avoid cleaning it with metal polish or abrasives, as cleaning can significantly reduce collector value. If you believe you have an especially fine specimen, consider having it graded and encapsulated. Even a common coin, when preserved at the highest quality, tells an important story and can hold more value than an ordinary circulated example. So, to sum it all up, the 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II with no mint mark is a fascinating modern coin with cultural significance and collectible appeal. It was minted in large numbers, so it is not extremely rare, but its worth depends heavily on its condition. In 2025, its realistic value ranges from under $1 in circulated form to around $3 to $6 in uncirculated or certified condition. While it is not a coin that will make you rich, it is an important piece for those who appreciate New Zealand's coinage and the long legacy of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. Thank you for joining me for this detailed look at the 2008 New Zealand 20-cent coin. If you enjoyed learning about its history, design, and value, please like this video, share it with other collectors, and subscribe to the channel for more numismatic stories and coin evaluations. Leave a comment below if you own one of these coins or have found one in your change, and let me know its condition. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and remember that every coin tells a story.